Well, would you look at that? We've got mail. I know I came on here and I told you guys there was no chance we would hear anything from the deposition or what happened there or what she wore or anything. Well, I'm happy to announce we've got a couple of things. Don't get too excited. It's a crumb of a crumb of a crumb, but it's something. Let's get into it.
F around and find out. F around and find out.
Well, hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of F Run and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie, and I want to thank you for being here today. Happy weekend. Enjoy yourselves. But before you go do that, I got some tea for you. And I know I told you we weren't going to hear anything, but I take it back, okay? Because we got a crumb of a crumb of a crumb, and I'm thinking we should call it a crumette or a crummeth. I'm still workshopping the name. Let me know what you think in the comments. But today we learned what Blake Lively wore to her deposition. We don't have pictures. I try to ask AI to help me out a bit, so I'm going to show you what AI came up with. But we don't have pictures, but we know what she wore. We know who went with her to the deposition. Not that the people who went with her was in the depositions. They like walked in the lobby with her and sat in another room waiting for her for 7 hours. We know something she said in the deposition because the wafer party slipped it to us on the low. It's on the docket. Everybody can see it, but I'm trying to make it dramatic. Okay, get into it. First up, we have this article from the Daily Mail. Team Blake assembled this. It ends with us, I think is what they meant. Not this ends with us. It ends with us. Star 37 arrives for the position hearing with husband Ryan Reynolds and 8 lawyers. But is there any sign of her bestie Taylor Swift? Which I feel like you just wanted to add Taylor Swift's name in your article. If Taylor Swift wasn't around for dinner, for the Super Bowl, for any parties, for anything, why would she be at her deposition? And again, like if you just wanted to add Taylor Swift's name for clickbait or whatever, just say that. But to suggest that there was even a chance that Taylor would have been at a deposition is disingenuous and funny, actually. So that's just by the way. Lively arrived for her deposition in New York yesterday with the full team Blake, her sister, and best friend Robin, okay, and husband Ryan Reynolds, and 8 lawyers. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 lawyers. Ocho lawyers, exactly. The actress, who is 37, gave evidence under oath as she prepares for a legal showdown with one-time co-star Justin Baldoni. What does that even mean? Who she says sexually harassed her while they were making the film. She also claims that his PR team then smeared her online. There was no sign of one-time bestie Taylor Swift, and I don't know what the point of this one-time is. And it's thought that the two women have not spoken in months. We knew that already. With Swift appalled at being we knew that. It's obvious they just wanted to put Taylor Swift's name in here. There is no point other than just for that. A source close to the deposition says that her older half sister Robin and actress and Deadpool husband Ryan Reynolds were with her when she came into the building. And I want to be clear, people are saying since Ryan was there, was he in the room with her? Anybody who was a party of the lawsuit could have been in a deposition. For example, had Ryan not been dismissed from this, like a month ago or whatever, he could have been in the room. Because his case got dismissed, he's no longer a party. He has nothing to do with it anymore. If you want to come support your wife for emotional support, you could sit back there somewhere. But you're not going to be in a room. Hell, you're not even going to be in the next room. Go sit in the cafeteria somewhere and eat granola bars. She wore black jeans, a black waistcoat, and a pale blue fluffy cardigan, trying to look human, motherly, which is a stretch, but she had to try. For the examination by Baldoni's feared lawyer, Brian Friedman. So I was curious because there was no pictures, right? Whoever leaked this information, you couldn't sneak a picture. I mean, you saw all that, but you couldn't sneak a picture. And at first I was like, it's New York City. Why you got a waistcoat? Why you got a cardigan? Then I thought of myself, okay, she could have been wearing just the jean and the waistcoat and the cardigan as if the building is cold because it's hot outside, the AC would be blasting. But I was trying to envision what she could have possibly been wearing. And we know she loves her Chanel. So I did a little bit of, work, and Chanel has these jackets, fluffy cardigans, coats, things. And I was like, this is definitely like on the list. I feel like in my mind, it definitely would be this top left corner one or this bottom right corner one, or maybe this one right here, top right corner. But again, we don't have visual, so I'm using my imagination. I'm trying to paint the picture for you, okay? I'm trying to put you in the room. So I asked AI, I asked ChatGTP to come up with the outfit Blake could have been wearing with her 8 lawyers. And I don't know why ChatGTP just automatically included somebody that I assume they're trying to say is Justin. And why is he also in denim blue trying to match? Anyway, don't get distracted. The point of this picture is that's supposed to be Blake with her blue cardigan and her waistcoat and her 8 lawyers surrounding her. Ezra Hudson is in there somewhere. Mike Gottlieb is in there somewhere. And I don't know if that's supposed to be Barry Friedman sitting next to her, but AI literally went off the rails. And before I asked AI to include the jacket, this is what I had come up with. This is supposed to be Blake, Justin, Brian Freeman, and her lawyers. So I guess, anyway, that was just to give you guys a visual because I'm trying to literally picture, I'm trying to put myself in the room because, like I told you, I would have done anything to be there. But let's get back on track. Witnesses in the building say Blake cut a confident figure as she entered the offices of her lawyers, Wiki Farr, Gallagher. And again, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. If I'm walking into an office building anywhere with 8 lawyers behind me, like I'm the Don Dada, like I'm the leader of the New York Mafia, whatever, I would cut a confident figure as well. You have 8 lawyers working with you to go confront your victim. Her victim, you heard me right. Justin is the victim here. If you bring 8 lawyers to a deposition, literally you need 8 lawyers to be at the ready to help you not slip. That's crazy work. They also say here in this article, Justin Baldoni and his business partner, Jamie Heath, were shut away with Blake and her legal team as she gave an account of events which led to her filing. So we know now that Jamie Heath was with Justin and Brian Friedman and probably Ellen Garofalo and Kevin Fritz. I don't want to keep you here forever, but just before midnight, we got a motion on the docket from the wafer parties. And it says, as counsel for the wafer parties, everybody on the wafer side, right? We write in response to Blake Lively's letter concerning Liner Friedman motions to quash the subpoena that she served upon the law firm. To justify the harassing subpoena, the letter erroneously alleges that Brian Friedman Esquire defamed Lively and that his conduct had amounted to public relations works rather than off an attorney. It appears that Lively is slowly realizing that there is no retaliatory smear campaign by the wafer parties against her. Consequently, Lively is shifting her focus to Liner Friedman in connection with her 14th cause of action, which alleges that certain wafer parties, through the attorney Friedman, purportedly defamed her via post-litigation statements to the media. Now get this, once you file a claim against me, or anybody, whatever, and that person hires a lawyer, that person's lawyer is allowed to do what they got to do, say what they got to say to help their client. So for example, you sue me for whatever. I hire a lawyer. My lawyer can come online and talk shit about you in defense of me. That's not defaming you or retaliation against you. The claim is already done. The claim is already in set. We are at war right now. What Blake is not understanding is she needs to fight back with something, but she has nothing. Brian Friedman going on talk shows or whatever, it's not illegal. It's not the first time it's been done. They just mad that whenever he says something, it seems to work. It seems to catch on. That's the biggest problem here because they get her to admit that in the deposition. And that's the teeny bit of crumb that we got. Upon questioning by Friedman at her recent deposition, Lively admitted that the only ongoing smear campaign about which she has personal knowledge involves redacted. It's redacted. Oh my God, it's redacted. But we know they brought it up in deposition. They asked her, and we know she gave an answer that made Brian Friedman and the wafer parties feel comfortable enough to bring it back to the judge just 24 hours later. Now, because I'm nosy and we don't really have much, I took everything from this crumb that I could get. And so if you pay attention right there, Exhibit A, they say she said that statement she said in Exhibit A in the video recording at 201 minutes, 14 seconds to 202 minutes, 23 seconds. So it's not really a long sentence, right? But what that meant to me was, oh my God, 201 minutes. They had, gone deep. They were talking for a while. And 201 minutes is 3.333 hours. So 3 hours since I'm changed in, they had this conversation. So they were talking for a while before this came up at the very least. We know that. So I was like, oh, at least that's something. I know it's not much, guys, but at this point, I am literally pulling a Blake Lively and grasping at straws. Counterclaims filed without retaliatory motive and without reasonable basis in fact and law, such as the claims filed by the wafer parties against Lively, do not constitute an adverse employment action within the meaning of anti-discrimination statute. Moreover, statements by the wafer parties to the media directly or through their counsel defending themselves against Lively's bogus claims of harassment do not qualify as retaliatory conduct. Like I just said, my lawyer can defend me by saying whatever the heck he needs to say. After we already in the battle, we're in the battle. Everything goes, right? Barring, me trying to actually incite fear and, harm towards you. Everything goes. For the fourth cause of action for defamation, New York law provides an absolute privilege for communications made by individuals participating in public functions such as executive, legislative, judicial, and quasi-judicial proceedings. The privilege is accorded statements made at all stages of a judicial proceeding in communication among the parties witness, counsel, and the court, provided that the statements have been considered in some way pertinent to the issue in the proceeding. The privilege applies to all statements made in and out of court and regardless of the motive for which they were made. In short, Lively is aggressively pursuing discovery for a defamation claim that will surely be dismissed upon a dispositive motion. In any event, Lively does not adequately address the court's inquiry concerning the underburden imposed upon Liner Friedman by the subpoena. It's not unduly burdensome because on December 23, 2024, days after Lively caused her allegations in her California civil rights complaint to be widely decimated by the New York Times, her counsel demanded that Liner Friedman cease and desist from, in essence, publicly responding thereto on behalf of the wafer parties. Therefore, accordingly, to Lively, Liner Friedman has known for more than 6 months that she may seek discovery from the law firm. However, at the hearing on the motion, the court astutely asked Lively's counsel why discovery was needed from Liner Friedman by the subpoena in connection with the defamation claim. If Lively knows which statements are at issue. Oop, way back when in December, you said you knew what's up. Now, what does Liner Friedman got to do with it? Because that was just a day after they retained them. So how could Liner Friedman have anything for you? That's smart. That's smart, Kevin. Clock it. Lively had no viable response at the hearing and does not offer one now. Indeed, the second amended complaint not only identifies the specific statements by Friedman that Lively contended were defamatory, but also conveniently provides links to the publications. In brief, Lively knows to whom the statements at issue were made, where they were published, and when, which renders the subpoena unnecessary and unduly burdensome. Again, right there, they clocked her T again. First of all, we didn't defame you. But if you're saying we defamed you because this and this is what was said to defame you, you have it. In fact, you went ahead and provided a whole transcript of the Megyn Kelly interview. So you said you know where it is. You know what publication they talked to. You know what was said. What the hell you need a subpoena for? You already got it. You already got it for free. Why are you wasting money to get a subpoena to talk to me, to talk to the judge? Why are you doing that? Motion should be granted, the motion to quash. And they cite one of Judge Lyman's cases for him, granting the motion to quash subpoena for a non-party attorney representing defendants because the subpoena risked implication of privileged attorney work product. The documents sought were of marginal relevance, and plaintiff failed to demonstrate the information sought could not be obtained from another source. So unfortunately, the transcript for the deposition obviously is under seal. It's going to remain under seal. A little bit of it that we were going to hear over here is already redacted. So you can already imagine. I do anticipate we'll hear something else moving forward. But I was excited just to know what happened, even like how long. And we know at least she was there for more than 3 hours because this conversation happened at the 3-hour mark and some change. Just kind of mad and disappointed that she didn't wear florals. I mean, how dare you not wear florals to your deposition? But the docket has also received a lot of filings because, like I said, because yesterday was deposition day, everybody was busy. But there's a couple of affidavits that's just for serving people. There's some motions to seal. And then we do have a release of some text messages, but that's unrelated to this one. And I don't want to make this video super long, so I'll try to get to that another time. But that's it for this Saturday. I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time. Like I tell you always, I appreciate everybody placing an order on the website. Some people have already started receiving their orders and sending me pictures and telling me the quality is great. They love it. So I appreciate you guys. I thank all of you for your continued support. And shout out to everybody who tuned in for my baking session on Instagram yesterday. The firefighters loved the cookies. They loved the pumpkin bread. They literally were looking at me like, do you sell these? I'm like, no, but I could try to get it to you guys as often as possible because I'm super busy. But thank you for tuning in for that. Thank you for tuning in here. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. I thank you all the time. I'll continue to do so. And I hope to see you on the next one. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you haven't already done so. And I'll talk to you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.